Hey guys, it's Halo9553. Welcome back to another Beyblade X unboxing. Today we're going to be checking out the latest deck set released from Takara Tomy, that being Sharkscale. So first off, a look at the packaging. It's definitely been a very long time since we got on the deck set. You can see UX-15 Sharkscale deck set. And you got very nice images of all three bays. You get a deck set. On the top, just same images in the combos. On the bottom, warning. On the other side, Beyblade X stuff. On the other side, all attack types. And then on the back of the box, just goes over the bay in question, the bays in question. So of course, Sharkscale is Maker's latest bay. So of course, with Sharkscale, you have the Sharkscale blade. You got a new ratchet, 450, and you get the under flat bit. Then the two other bays you get, so you get a new bay, at least for Takara, with Tyranno Roar. Very excited to check this out. So for Ritz Ratchet, you get a new Ratchet, 170, and you get the level bit. And then you get Hell's Brave for your CX Bay. So of course you have the Hell's Brave blade, which consists of the Hell's Lock Chip, the Brave Primary Blade, along with the Jaggy Assist Blade. Ratchet is 360, and then the bit is Gear Flat. So let's get into this. So yeah, it's been quite a long time since we've gotten a deck set from Takara. The last one was definitely, it was either the Asia Championship or the Phoenix Rudder. Might have been the Asia Championship. So yeah, it's been close to a year since we've gotten a deck set. And I do feel like this is probably going to be one of the best valued deck sets. So let's get into this. Okay, so we have the bays. Oh, they've twist tied them. That's interesting. So they have changed up the packaging for this at least a bit. Yeah, they're twist tied. So you got your instructions along with the QR code and the CX assembly tool. Now in white. Alright, so I'll get these out of their baggies and we'll go over them in more detail. Okay, so here is the Sharkscale deck set out of the packaging. So, of course, we have three bays here. So we have Sharkscale, Tyranno Roar, and Hell's Brave. So, the first thing I'll say right off the bat, this is definitely a great deck set if you want to get an understanding of the three different systems within Beyblade X, which is really cool because you're getting a UX, a BX, and a CX in the same box, which is pretty cool. So, we're going to be going over each of the bays one by one, talk about what the kinks and qualms are, and then we'll do some test battles with them all. So let's get into it. Alright, first off, we're going to have a look at the CX Beyblade included in the deck set, that being Hell's Brave. So first off, here is the Lock Chip. I mean, it is the Hell's or the Incendio Lock Chip that we've been used to before. But I will say it does look pretty cool. It's done in yellow. Well, it's a bit more of a mustard yellow. And you got the skull in black with the yellow flames. I mean, looks pretty cool, but it's the same lock chip we've been getting for quite a while now. Next up, we have the Slash Primary Blade. Nothing too crazy with this. It's the same primary blade we got with John Brave / Courage Duran, but done in black with that yellow as well. I will say the initial pictures made this look a bit more green, but also, this actually looks a lot nicer in person. Now, when you compare it to the other attack type blades that have recently come out, like Fox, like the Brush, Brush, Blast, and even the Volt primary blades, they do hit a lot better compared to Brave here. But this can still be a decent attack type primary blade from time to time. Next up, we have the Jaggy Assist Blade. Great assist blade to have here. Jaggy is probably one of the best attack type assist blades you can get at the moment. Done in that translucent yellow, but still looks pretty cool. Now, yours you get 360. Great part to have. Can't go wrong with 360. Now done in this really nice green and black, which looks pretty cool. And then for the bit, we have Gear Flat. Not the best attack type bit, but it can be useful in certain situations. So this combination of parts makes Hell's Brave an attack type. Now this whole deck is attack types, so Obviously, this deck set is really aimed for going for massive attacks, really trying to knock your opponents into the over and stream pockets. But still, pretty cool, pretty decent combo overall. Next up, we're going to be checking out the BX Beyblade of this deck set. We have Tyrannosaur. So for release for Asia countries, this is the first release of this blade. But for those that have been having the Hasbro releases, we've had this blade for a little while now. So here it is. Love the colors on this. I think the red and the orange look really nice on this. So of course, this is just a repaint of Roar Tyranno that we got from Wave 2. And we also had it as Spinosaurus in the Jurassic World collabs, which is pretty cool. So you can see that they are the same blade, just different colors. Still look pretty cool. Now, Tyrannosaur is a remold of Phoenix Wing. So they do share similar contact points, but then again, Phoenix's contact points are a bit more protruded. But still, the Tyrannosaur blade still hits really hard. Not as hard as Phoenix, especially with the advent of Mold Free. But still, this still hits pretty hard. But granted, it definitely benefits more from more like passive combos, but definitely not like head-on, like heavy combos. But still, really cool blade. Definitely cannot complain about it. And to go along with that, we have a brand new Ratchet in the form of 170. So yeah, nice to finally get 170. It's definitely been quite a while. So this definitely will open up a lot more opportunities for the one-sided Ratchet. 160 obviously is used quite a bit, and 180 has actually seen a good amount of use in certain combos. So 170 will definitely open up a few more opportunities, especially now it's in between one of the shorter heights and one of the tallest heights. But as you see, the color scheme on this matches the blade pretty well, but still. Nice to get another new Ratchet besides the ones with the new bay. Well, with the new UX bay, I should say. And along with that, we get Level. Great to see Level outside of Samurai Saber. Then again, it's just done in simple black. But still, great to see Level included with this set. So that's it for Tyrannosaur. Alright, let's now focus on the main star of this deck set, the new UX attack type, Sharkscale. So here is the blade itself. Now this is a UX base, so of course, long chunks of plastic and the metal's been more allocated to the main blade. So let's have a look at that gear chip. Pretty cool gear chip. I mean, I would say Shark Edge probably has a bit more of a better gear chip design, but this one still looks really cool. Now, the noticeable trait with Sharkscale, it does have two massive protruding contact points right here. Very similar to Hollow Wyverns, I will say that. But I would say Sharkscales are probably a bit bigger, quite a bit bigger. But still, this will lead to some really nice recoil and really nice stabilization of your blades, of your opponent's blades here. But still, really nice. Great weight to this. I can already tell this is going to be a really nice heavy blade. Now, I will say, Sharkscale does still suffer from the same, probably the main problem with Shark Edge is that its stamina is still not amazing. But it definitely makes up for it with its massive recoil. So, definitely still a really good blade overall. I recently saw this in action at a recent tournament that you can actually watch on my channel. This is a really good blade for getting really nice destabilization attacks. But yeah, really good blade. Next up, we have a brand new Ratchet, 450. Yes, 450. So we're getting even lower than 55. So really nice Ratchet here. So here is a 460. If I can just get this line up. As you can kind of see, even though it's out of focus, you can kind of see that the 450 Ratchet is definitely a bit lower. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot lower than 460 and even 55, which is kind of nuts. Not sure why they went with the 4 sides. I would have thought maybe 250 would have been a bit more appropriate. But I will say, still looks really, really good. Now, probably the main drawback with using the 50 ratchets like this is that you are probably going to be a lot more prone to scraping if you're using BX and UX base, and especially if you're using low bits like the new underflat bit. But probably the only upside with using the 50 ratchets is CX bays will definitely probably benefit from these ratchets the most, because it allows them to get a bit lower. But even then, this is still going to be a great ratchet, as it's going to allow your base to really get under your opponent's blades, to really attack them from underneath, and even potentially target the ratchets. So really, really nice ratchet. Definitely some cause to worry if you are going to be using really low profile combos. But this will I think definitely the pros outweigh the cons here with the 450 ratchet. Finally, for the bit, we have a new bit, which is underflat. So this bit is similar to under needle, where it's, well, under. So probably the main advantage with this over low flat is, well, a few advantages actually. The first one is this is actually 1mm lower than the standard low flat bit. In fact, if I actually bring it in a low flat, so as you can see, under flat is actually a bit shorter than low flat. So this is actually going to be really, really good for the existing low flat combos, as you're going to be getting even lower. And probably the other benefit with under flat is that it should be able to retain its stamina quite a bit better than low flat, since it's a standard flat tip. So yeah, this is going to be really, really good. Now this is going to be a very, very low combo, but it should still be really, really solid overall. I'm a little bit worried about the scraping, but we'll figure that out as we go. But yeah, really happy with all 3 parts. I think this is going to be a very solid release. Alright, let's do some weights. Now, I'm not going to weigh up everything. I'm only going to weigh up the blades and the new parts. So Hell's Brave with Jaggy. This weighs 37.58 grams. Not bad. Alright, so Tyrannosaur. This blade weighs 35.83 grams. That's not too bad. Just comparison with my original. Which I have a few. 35.79. So about the same weight. I mean, the average for this is around this. Some are hitting 36 grams, but still decent weight overall. The new 170 ratchet. This weighs 6.13 grams. Not bad. Alright, let's now weigh up the new Sharkscale. So, on the flat, this weighs... Oh, if I stop dropping it like a dum-dum. 2.02 grams, so about average weight for a bit. The 450 ratchet, this weighs 5.88 grams. For comparison, here's the full 60 from Dragoon Storm. 6.2 rolling grams, so yeah, that's a bit lighter. It's about 1.5 grams, pretty much. So yeah, dropping that height really drops the weight on this. And then finally, the blade. This one weighs 37.59 full. Oh, 59 full. But yeah, 37.50 grams. I do have another one that has been weighing about closer to 37.75. Yeah, as you can see, 37.74. So pretty heavy blade overall. I'm actually gonna use this for the tests, the heavier one. So let's put this bay together. I would say the locking mech, at least on mine, is not super tight. So here's the full combo. As you can see, it's very low. If I just bring in, where's a good low combo? I got a few bays on the table. I'll try to figure out which one to use. You know what, let's just use, the existing Serrano. We bring in 960 here flat. So if I get the blades, the ratchets lined up, as you can see, low flat, the under flat bit does get it a bit low. And in the case with Samurai Cowboy with merge, it's really hitting the ratchet straight up. So altogether, this combo weighs 49.68 grams, so pretty heavy. But let's give this bay some test battles. Alright, now we're going to do some test battles with Sharkscale himself. So we're going to do some test spins first, and then I'm going to pit this up against the other two bays in the deck set, and then we'll have this going up against some meta combos, and we'll see if we can come up with a meta combo for this. So, from what I've seen, this is going to be really, really fast. Yep, I mean, the flat bit, under flat's really performing similar to flat. And the stamina is really holding up a lot better than low flat. But it's definitely not as fast as low flat though. Let me try this again. Yeah, this is a, gonna be a bit, oh yeah, I heard that scrape there. It actually scraped on the extreme line. That's interesting. So yeah, this is definitely gonna be a very interesting combo. So, let's give this a go. You can really see the stabilization Sharkscale is able to cause onto bays when it gets really underneath them. Ooh. Alright, I'm gonna try something else. So I've swapped the ratchet from Sharkscale to 160. So I'm gonna see how it goes when it's focusing a bit more of its weight onto one of the intrusion points. it for my look at the new Sharkscale Deck set. I am very, very happy with how this deck set turned out. In my opinion, this is definitely the best deck set they've released so far. I think value-wise, you're really getting a great bang for your buck here. Now, what are the reasons for that? Well, first off, you're getting one of each of the current systems, which is great. So, like, if you haven't gone into Beyblade X or you've been in a loop for a while, this is a fantastic way to get familiar with all three systems, as you're getting a BX, a UX, and a CX all in the same box, which is really, really good. Now, granted, Brandon Brewster's gonna do that, but then again, you're more so chancing it. But still, great way to get a good taste of all three systems. Probably what also makes this set pretty great is you are getting 2 new blades, at least in Asia, which is really, really cool, along with 2 new ratchets. So, again, really, really great way for some new parts. Now, let's talk about the base performance overall. Hell's Brave, I mean, it's a CX Bay with the Brave primary blade, so you kind of know what to expect with its performance. But as you can see, it did do decently in the test battles I just did. Tyrannosaur, I mean, the blade itself is pretty solid. But don't expect it to be winning contests compared to Phoenix all the time. The 170 ratchet, though, is nice. So great to have that heat. But Sharkscale, he is definitely the star of the show here. And really, really good. He's really able to destabilize his opponents really well. The stamina is still not the best. I mean, that's still probably the main trade-off with this compared, like with Shark Edge as well. But still, looks really, really good. He did scrape a bit. In the initial spin test, he actually did scrape on the extreme line, which was, I was not expecting that. And he's going to be a little bit more prone to scraping if you're using this 450 ratchet. Why is he on level? But the underflat bit that he does come with, there it is. I don't know why he was having level. But yeah, the underflat bit, I'm pretty happy with that. I do see this bit mostly potentially replacing a lot of the low flat combos, as you are getting 1mm lower now. So this is definitely going to be a really good bit to use. So, can I recommend this deck set? Absolutely. Again, I think this is definitely one of the best deck sets Takara has put out so far, and I definitely would recommend picking up a few. I mean, this is definitely a deck set you want to build up a few of, especially for its parts. But that's going to do it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Beyblade X videos in the future, and until then, I'll see you all in the next video.